sentences or initial few words that I'll be sharing. So, anyway, we start with the session. Uh, there are basically two kinds of, if I look at spiritual communication, there are two different forms. One is, of course, when you are trying to communicate with the spiritual world, trying to connect to spirit guides, higher selves, higher order beings, divine, and so on. And the other form of another form of spiritual communication is you communicating with others as a spiritual being. We are all a spiritual being. So when we communicate, how do we communicate? What actually goes into that communication? So initially, when I started the session, I thought that I will focus on the later than the former because there has been several sessions that focused on connecting with the spirit world and so on, connecting with spirit guides, higher selves, and so on. So I wanted to focus on the second, but then after bit of deliberation, I found that it is better to start with the first, that is communication with the spirit world first, and then communicating as a spiritual being will come to the picture. So I'll touch upon the first one first, and then I'll go to the next. And hmm, but the focus on the first will be slightly less because this is something that has been discussed on various platforms at various points in time. Though I have a different way of doing it, but still,
Excuse me, sir. Please unmute yourself.
yeah, I got a message that Zoom unexpectedly stopped. Anyway, so here we go. The first communication, as we discussed, it's about communicating with the spiritual world. And when you talk about spiritual world, the first thing that comes to our mind is spirit guides. So before we discuss about connecting with spirit guides, it's important to understand who are the spirit guides, what form do they come in, what form do they take, and so on. So spirit guides are generally those who have been in human form uh, earlier, and most likely these spirit guides have been in human form with you in this life at your tender age or something. In some way, they know you, they know your background, they know your life, they know your life journey, they know your path, and so on. So when we take birth, as we discussed several times, when we take birth, we always take a lot of resolutions for each birth. What is to be achieved in each birth? So when we have these resolutions, um, life creates situations to face those resolutions in different forms. So, for example, if one resolution of this life is trust, just to learn how to trust people, you will be in situations where you will be in crossroads and you will not know whether to trust the next person or not. Or, for example, if in this life your one of your resolutions is to learn punctuality, then you will face a lot of lessons in this life for not being punctual. Like just yesterday, I had a candidate who came to my office crying and crying and crying, saying that we had our admissions and there was a deadline of filling the registration and so on physically. So the candidate came 2 hours later, and the whole system is very automated. We can't, there is no much human intervention. The candidate came 2 hours later and then started all the stories that my mom is in hospital and the train was late and it was raining and all of those excuses. We are very used to these excuses as Indians whenever we are late. So she started with all those excuses and said that, please give me a chance, please give me another chance. I have so and so percentage marks and so on. So uh, I had to say, you have to learn a lesson somewhere, maybe in a very hard way, but you have to learn your lesson for being late. No, I was not late, but still she was reluctant to admit that it is she who was late, not the circumstances that made her late. So always we try to blame our deficits, our loopholes on circumstances. We don't put it on ourselves. So these are some of the very important resolutions that we have. We Situations are created to learn those lessons, and for each of these lessons that we have to learn, we might have a special spirit guide, or sometimes a group of spirit guides also to learn those lessons. So now this girl, she was denied admission only because she was late by 2 hours. And that 2 hours, of course, her year will not be lost. She will take admission somewhere else. But it is definitely a lesson. Now it is up to the person to learn the lesson or not to learn the lesson. The person, as I said, can blame circumstances and situations for what has happened or understand and rectify. So spirit guides play a very important role to help you understand your resolutions and why you have come on earth in this birth. What is there to learn? Okay, sometimes truthfulness could be a resolution. Punctuality could be a resolution. So many things could be there in life that could be our resolutions. So sometimes you may have only one spirit guide, sometimes you may have multiple spirit guides, sometimes you may have spirit guide on a specific part of your life. For that particular portion you need a specialized spirit guide, just like when you have a eye problem, you go to an ophthalmologist. You will not go to a dermatologist for a bone problem. So similarly, there are often specialists, and sometimes there are general medicine practitioners also. So if it is the general flow of your life, then the spirit guide can also be very general. Sometimes when you are going through some specific problem in your life, the spirit guides are also very specific. Now, the problem is most of the time we feel that, oh, what is the spirit guide? Where are they? We can't see, we can't understand, we don't know whether they are there with us. That happens because we block our communication with our higher selves, our higher spirit guides. We block ourselves. And what do we mean by blocking? Here, blocking means when we, for example, when we are so engrossed in our problems that we forget to see beyond ourselves, to discover that, yes, there are higher order beings who can help us. So first and foremost is the trust, is the belief, in the belief that, yes, there are possibilities to help, take help. Now, if you have that belief, that trust, then it is possible. Now, there are two different ways to communicate with spirit guides, higher selves, divine, whatever you call. But the lowest and the easiest form to connect with the world of divinity is spirit guides. So there are two ways. One is you can go for a guided meditation. I do practice a lot of this guided meditation to take people to their guides, spirit guides, and take their guidance on what is there in this life, what are their resolutions, how much they have been able to fulfill their resolutions, what they should do to reach the particular resolution that they have to achieve in this particular life, and so on. Other is self-guided meditation or self meditation. You can also do it yourself. It is no rocket science. You can do it yourself. It's very simple, very easy. it takes hardly 30 minutes approximately. Of course, once you are tuned to it and accustomed, then it could take even less time than 30 minutes. So there are few, preparatory things before you start doing this kind of a meditation to connect with spirit guides. First and foremost, you have to get ready for the meditation. So you have to select a place which is nature is the best. If you can get a place in front of a beautiful lake or a river or a water body or a small kind of a forest and things like that, it is best. But if that is not comfortable, then even your room or your terrace is also a good place to select as a spot for this kind of a meditation. Dawn or twilight are the times when these kind of meditations are the best. Dawn is before the sun rises, and twilight is just when the sun sets. So these 2 points in time are very good for these kind of meditations. It is better if you can have a candle or some kind of a diya or a natural fire before you, a small diya just outside, I mean beside you during the meditation. Candles are better because through candle you can monitor the which I'll talk later, the change in the color of the wax. Sometimes even the movement of the flame of the fire of the candle is also very important. So getting ready is, you should have, if it is possible, have some incense sticks around, some kind of a purification process around that helps. And next is, before you start the meditation, it is very important to know, you may not get a chance to ask questions right in the first time itself, but it is always better to know what questions you want to ask to your spirit guide. Now, of course, you should not ask those questions which are known to you, answers which are very, I mean, obvious. You should be prepared with your questions. Think. Be prepared with your questions. Now, once you're ready, then the meditation starts. But I think before you start with the meditation, you have to be ready with your questions, and you have to be aware what you can expect from the meditation. Okay, so I'll give you a brief synopsis how it happens. So once you sit straight, you can either keep your right hand on the top of your left hand, or just below your belly button, and sit in Padmasana position. If you are not able to sit in Padmasana position, if you have backache or legs, you will feel that after some time your legs may start paining. Chairs are also fine. You can sit in a chair also, but keep your spine straight as far as possible. Then the meditation starts with focusing on breath, just like any normal meditation. Focus on your breath and go deeper and deeper. And it is just a form of relaxation. You just relax, relax, relax. Okay. Once you relax, you start bringing your entire focus. First, you maybe on YouTube or somewhere, you just take a picture, I mean, in your mind, about all your 7 chakras. Okay. So once you sit in meditative position and you have control on your breath, then you try to visualize the chakras, the 7 chakras of your body. Okay. Once you have a view of your 7 chakras of your body, imagine a light emanating from Mother Earth, passing through your root chakra, up, right through your heart chakra, throat chakra, third eye, and crown chakra, and connecting to the heavens. Imagine a light that emanates from Mother Earth, goes straight through you, through your body, connecting to the heavens. Imagine that light. And when you imagine that light, you have to be with that light for some time. Be with that light for some time and believe and trust the connect that your meditation is establishing through your body, connecting Mother Earth and the heavens. This cannot happen in one day. If you have to practice it, practice and practice and practice. But sometimes in a very short time, you may be able to connect to the heavens very clearly, very easily. Once you see this light getting connected to the heavens, right from Mother Earth, directly connecting to the heavens, and once you feel that the light is gradually getting stable, more and more stable, and you can feel the beam of light, the vibrance of the light, that is the time that you are ready to call your spirit guide. Okay. So you have to just call upon your spirit guide through your mind. Okay. That I call upon my spirit guide to come to me and show its presence. Okay, you just have to call in your mind. It's a very simple process. Okay. Now, not all the time, whenever you call your spirit guide, the spirit guide will immediately come and so on. It is not so simple, it's not so easy. What can stop you connecting from your spirit guide? It is the vibration, difference in the vibration level. So the vibration level of the spirit world is different than the vibration level of the human world. The beam of light that you're seeing connecting Mother Earth through you to the heavens tries to merge the vibration of your body with the vibrations of the spirit world. You are actually a medium. You then become a medium of connecting Mother Earth with the heavens. That brings the connect in the vibration levels of the spirit world with your physical world. But though you visualize the ray of light connecting, it is not always evident that the vibrations actually match. And when you call your spirit guide will come. It takes time, but you need to have the trust that it will happen. Another very important thing that all of you are aware of, all of you know, is the whole spirit world works completely based on imaginations, just like the world of dreams. Okay, so you should not use your logic to think there. You should be like a detective. What next? You have to keep on asking what next. So when you get a vision, you don't question, why am I getting this? Oh, maybe I'm cooking up stories. That should not be your outlook. You should be in a fully trusting mode and believe and trust on what is going on. This complete trust is one of the key factors of connecting with spirit guide. There is another important aspect to connect to your spirit guide. To create the platform where the spirit guide will come and meet you in your imagination, in your thought process. What is that? So, for example, just like in different meditations you see, so for example, you can just imagine yourself sitting, just like suppose you're sitting in front of a beautiful lake or something like that. Wherever you're sitting, you have to imagine. The imagination is very important. You have to be very open to see whether there is something that is trying to connect with you. When you're calling your spirit guide to come and connect with you, you have to be very vigilant on what is trying to connect with you. Because if you are trying to connect to your spirit guide will definitely respond and will definitely try to connect with you. But many a times what happens is we create the barrier and we suspect. So then the connection is lost. So what is most important is to embrace or to call your spirit guide with open hands. Okay. So for that, what is most important is opening your doors of imagination, because it is the imagery that you will create about the spirit guide. Many times, a spirit guide can come in the form of a squirrel and come and just be in front of you trying to communicate with you. It can come in the form of a bird. It can come in the form of a person, a man, an old man wearing a white gown with white beard and so on. Very, very seldom a spirit guide will take a form which will scare you. That will not happen. Now, next is, how do you understand that your spirit guide has come? That is very important. If your spirit guide has come, you will immediately sense some difference in your body temperature and the temperature around you. A minor difference will be there. Sometimes you will have goosebumps. The moment the spirit guide comes, you might have goosebumps. You will also feel a change in the smell of the air around you. There will be a difference in the fragrance in the air around you. There could also be a mild wind blowing. So these are all symptoms that the spirit guide has come. So it will give you some kind of a sensation that yes, something will change around you, to give you a sensation that the spirit guide has come. But as I told you, everything happens through your mind, through your superconscious mind. Remember, nothing is physical here. Only the physical world is physical. Beyond that, everything is to be perceived through our imagination, just like we do in dreams. Okay. So when your spirit guide comes, and when you can always communicate to your spirit guide through your imagination. You don't need to talk. You have to think. The moment you think something, the communication happens. It's a mind-to-mind link that happens. So you can request your spirit guide to come and sit beside you. Now, when your spirit guide comes and sits beside you, most of my clients or students, whatever you call, whenever I've done this with them, they find that yes, the spirit guide comes and sits beside them also. And when they ask questions,
Sir,
they don't answer. Okay, so this is a very important thing that you should remember and you have to realize. Establishing the communication with spirit guide is the next layer of uh, effort that you have to take. So to establish a communication with a spirit guide, it takes again some amount of time. You have to create an environment which is conducive for you and your spirit guide to be together first, because it is a hell lot of a task to match the vibration of yourself and your spirit guide to exist or to coexist together in one place. And we as human beings, we are always restless. Oh, spirit guide has come, I have to start asking questions. No, you have to make the spirit guide comfortable and just have a very pleasing, soothing thought in your mind. Make your spirit guide comfortable, just like a very, very important guest coming to your house. When a very important guest comes to your house, do you start bombarding with questions? No, you don't do that. You first try to make the guest comfortable. You will offer water. You will start asking, आपका आने में तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं हुआ, रास्ते में ट्रैफिक तो ज्यादा नहीं था. You will ask different kinds of questions and try to make soft questions, very, very soft questions, just to make, or some normal random talks to make the person very comfortable. Same is here. You have to first Match the vibration levels of yourself with your spirit guide. Once that is established, this will take a few days' time. Once that is established, then you can gradually start asking questions. You can start with what is your name? How do I call you? And then you can ask, why am I here? Please guide me. What are my resolutions? What should I do in my life, the rest of the life that I am left with? What should I do with my life? Or any problem that you're going through. You can ask any question to your spirit guide, but you cannot be in a rush. You cannot be in a hurry. You have to be very, very slow, steady, and gradually you have to come to that level. Okay. So patience is often the key, and questions to be asked are also very, very delicate. So I'll tell you my story about my spirit guide. When I first saw my spirit guide, it was I mean a very it was a very, very long time back. It was probably in 2007, I think. So I was going through a guided meditation. It was kind of a group meditation I was attending, and that is where I met my spirit guide. In those days I was not really aware of the different aspects of spirit guide and so on. So without even knowing, my spirit guide came to me, and I did not know that it is my spirit guide, to be very frank with you. So what happened was, I was uh, you know sorry. So what was happening was, I was in a deep form of meditation, and I saw a huge bird, albatross. I did not know the name of the bird also earlier. After it was over, I searched, and then I found out that it was an albatross. So it was a huge white bird, and it was waving its wings. And right on the top of my head, it was like this. And it was a huge bird, huge, huge bird. And the moment it was there, I was feeling extremely calm and soothing, and as if like I always received this protection from this bird. So I was not able to understand. I could feel a direct connect, but I did not understand why this bird appeared. So I was trying to ask, but I didn't know exactly what to ask, because I did not know that this particular thing is a spirit guide, and I can ask questions and I can get connected. I was not aware of that at all. So that was my first experience. And later, after that, I saw the bird several times. And then something very interesting happened. This bird changed its form. And then it came to me in the form of a man, of a very tall man with a white gown and white beard, white hair, long white hair, very, very long white hair, like a lady. I mean, very long, up to knees. The hair, white hair was up to knees, and white beard, so long white beard, and glow. And the white dress which the person was wearing was having a beautiful glow. But then by then I was more or less aware what is spirit guide and all of that. It was very easy for me to understand that he has changed it has changed its form, and this is the form that it has taken now. So and then once I remember, the spirit guide also came in the form of a squirrel. That is why I mentioned about squirrel. It came in the form of squirrel, and it was not scared. The first time the squirrel came to me, it was not scared, and it was I mean, I was sitting straight on I mean, in my imagination, I was sitting in front of a lake, and the squirrel just took my leg and came and sat on my lap, and put its head up, and was looking at me, and it was making some sound. And it was so funny, though it was making some sound, I could exactly understand what it was saying. And I was communicating through my thought, and the squirrel was communicating through that chick, 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 chick sound. And believe me, all of you can go through this experience. All of you can do this. So it is a very simple process. You all of you can do it. You can try and you can go to that level. I had a long presentation for today about the next part also, but I don't think today time will permit, because I'm sure many of you will have a lot of questions to ask here. So I will stop here. I will open up for questions, because the next part of my presentation was how to communicate as a spiritual being. That is very, very important. Many times we fail to communicate as a true spiritual being. We learn a lot of spirituality, we learn a lot of things in our daily life, but when our real life comes, real challenges comes, we forget to communicate as a spiritual being. So that is what my next part of the conversation was. But I think that is quite large, quite huge also. So I think that I'll keep for the next session. In this session, I think we will stop here and we can have question and answers. You can ask me whatever you have in your mind, and I'll be happy to answer.
Spirit guides are the same as guardian angels, or
No, guardian angels are slightly higher level. Um, these are mostly the names that we give, but guardian angels are slightly higher level. Guardian angels are not specific to a person. Spirit guides are specific to a person.
so they were previously in human form, you're saying, with us in some lifetime.
Yes, could be maybe your grandfather can become your spirit guide now. So after death, they decided not to take birth immediately. So they can serve as your spirit guide.
Mhm. So can they serve when they are not actually communicating with you indirectly?
Yes, yes. Many times it happens. So for example, you suppose you forget where you kept your keys, and suddenly you remember, oh, it is there. That is your spirit guide.
I see.
Yeah.
But then when you need something, also very often you don't find that help.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that also could happen. That also could happen. But many
yeah.
times you will feel that, how did I suddenly reach there where I should have been? I mean, it's very unusual many a times. So these are communications, but it is not easy. If you want to communicate with your spirit guide, and you want to make a very systematic process to connect to your spirit guide, then you have to go through meditation in the initial phase. But of course, if you practice and practice and practice, you don't need to go through a deep meditation to connect to your spirit guide. You can just close your eyes, sit up straight, and you will be able to connect to your spirit guide.
Mhm.
I mean, the time that it takes reduces and reduces and reduces. Then after a point in time, it will become very fast, because all that matters is the vibration, the matching of the vibration. So when you keep on matching the vibration several times, it gets connected very fast.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, I heard somewhere that spirit guides cannot help you until and unless you ask for the help. Is it true?
Okay, partially true. So, for example, you know what is consciousness, or conscience. So when we keep on doing wrong things repeatedly, then we create a blockage, we create a barrier in connecting with our conscience. So spirit guide connects to you through your conscience. If you block your, if you stop hearing to your inner voice, then spirit guides cannot penetrate through that and connect with you. But if you are okay, if you listen to your conscience all the time, then it is fairly easy to connect to your spirit guide. And many times spirit guides, as I told you, you don't find where you kept your glasses. You will suddenly get oh, you kept it there last night. It comes to your mind. But yes, people who are too much into negative acts, their conscience stops communicating to them, to their brain. So for them, it is very difficult to connect to the spirit guide directly. But for normal people like us, people who have some kind of a spiritual bent of mind, for them, if the spirit guide desperately wants to give you a signal that yes, it is there, it can connect. But when you want to connect, it is a process.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Sir, good morning. Neelam Kumar here. I wanted to ask how different it is from something called planchette. Can it be possible that a negative energy also connects, or only good force? I mean, good spirit guide will come.
Okay. So planchette is a process through which spirits close to you can connect with you. Okay. So planchette is a platform that you open for spirits to connect to you. Okay. But the spirits that connect to you through planchette may not be your guide.
Okay.
They will be random spirits whom you don't even know. So that is why there is a chance of connecting with wrong spirits also.
Okay.
But when you're doing this kind of a meditation and you're trying to connect with the spirit guide, your spirit guide, it's a very specific, focused connect.
Very grateful. I experienced that through you once. So very grateful.
Yes,
Thank you,
yes,
sir.
yes.
Thank you.
So, Mallik, I have a question regarding this spiritual meditation.
Yes,
so, when we are I generally do this angelic meditation, and sometimes I get connected with the spirits also, like my spirit guide. And the thing is, the thoughts get connected to you. And sometimes the thoughts that come in your mind are not your thoughts. And it's just random thoughts. So, is that connection genuine one, or is just your imagination?
So this statement is a statement of mistrust. So so this whole conversation of whether it is genuine or it is imagination is a wrong thought.
No, because
So
sometimes it
spirit
happens,
guides,
right?
I understand.
That's so so much out of the place that I'm not doubting my spirit guide, but when you come out of the meditation and then you realize that whatever the flow was, is this so?
Yes, yes, right. So first and foremost, as I mentioned earlier also, trust is the initial key to connecting with spirit guide. Because if you are not able to have your 100% trust, then connecting to spirit guides is next to impossible. But the mindset that you should have is a very exploratory mindset, investigative mindset. So if a guide comes, then I mean, if an entity comes, let it be a animal, let it be in the form of anything, even a bird or a worm or a human being, whatever it is. If the person comes in front of you and sits in front of you or expresses its presence in front of you, what is the harm in trusting? There's no harm in trusting. So just go with it. Just go with it and experience the process. Experience the process and then be with it. Try to connect your mind to mind connection, and try to communicate. Try to make the entity feel at ease, and try to match with the vibrations of the thought process and see what happens. So the key is trust. The key is trust. And most often why we are unable to connect to our spirit guides is we believe that we feel that, oh, it is my wild imagination. There's no reality to it. But the best part of the whole thing is reality is only in the physical world, which is not even 0.00001% of the entire universe. The rest of the universe is totally on imagination. Your soul, your soulmates, your the entire heavens, everything is imagination. You have to go through when your soul, the entire soul journey. It is not physical. Nothing is physical.
Okay. Thank you so much.
So
Dr.
that way you have to trust your imagination, and the whole process of trusting imagination is also a practice, because things will happen which you did not expect. And then, oh, maybe this is my wild imagination. Why am I imagining this? Why not am I imagining something else?
That's the thing I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Is it that can spirit guides come and communicate with you when you're in times of danger? You're, like,
Yes. They always try to come to you and communicate with you if you keep your doors open. But many a times we shut our doors. If we keep our doors open, then spirit guides will always come and communicate with you. And the funny part is, once your door is open, the door remains open unless you shut it.
okay. Animal spirits are not going to, animal spirits also come under spirit guides.
So yeah, so there is nothing called animal spirits, spirit guides. Guides can take any form. It can
Right.
take the form of an animal, it can take the form of a human being,
Yeah.
it can take the form of anything. Okay, so they can take any form they want, just to make you feel comfortable. They can take some very terrifying form also, but that will scare you. So they don't do that. So they try to take a form which you will understand easily. So many a times we see that with many of my patients, I've seen that, oh, my grandfather has come. Now, it is actually not his or her grandfather at all. The spirit guide has taken the form of the grandfather because that will help the person connect very fast.
Acha. Oh. But it could be the grandfather's soul also, no? Could be.
Yes. It could be that also. Yeah. So over a period of time, then you can ask, who are you? And then you get the answer.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think somebody asked a question: can there be several spirit guides at the same time? Yes, I started with this earlier. At a single point in time, you can have multiple spirit guides, and at different points in time, you can have different spirit guides depending on the journey that you're going through. So that is that. So the next point is, what does it mean, low energy people and high energy level people? So it is about your vibrations, your vibration levels. So low energy is when you are surrounded with negative emotions. Okay, if you are connected with positive emotions, then you will automatically have high energy. If you are surrounded with negative emotions, you are in a low energy state. So we had this map of consciousness, if you remember. So the higher energy levels are happiness, ecstasy, bliss, and so on. When you take charge of yourself, that is the happy moment, happy state. Okay, so that is high energy level. Negative emotions percolate negative energy, even to others. Yes, I'm ready to take any questions, any other questions if you have. Else, I think we are done. I had a very long presentation today, but I cut it short because I don't think two things will go together. I had the next part of the slides, which is 70%, was about how to communicate as a spiritual being. But that I'll keep it for another day.
What is that about? Like, I mean,
How should we communicate in the physical state here? As a physical state, if you are a spiritual being, how should you communicate with others?
with other people.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes.
So
By
maybe
being
next
a good
Sunday.
person and all that sort of thing, no?
Yeah, quite. We can go quite deep there. A lot of
Yeah.
other things to discuss there also. So maybe we'll do it in the next session sometime. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you for patiently listening to me. And if at any point in time you want to connect to your spirit guide, then we just need a bunch of people together and we can do a group meditation, guided group meditation, and try to
So
connect to
can we
you.
have this meditation today?
Today, though not possible. Today, my whole day is like jam-packed. I'll have to leave right away. A lot of things are there. But yeah, we can do it anytime.
So a lot of people are saying thank you, and so one of them has asked, what does it mean, low energy people and high energy people?
I just responded.
That is answered.
I just responded to that.
And what is telepathy? And can we have more than one spirit guide?
Yeah, all that I responded. All of those questions I've responded. Telepathy is when when the spirit of one person tries to connect with the spirit of another person, both in human form. Okay, and many times you will feel that you call somebody and the person says, "Oh, I was about to call you." अरे मैं तो अभी आपको कॉल करने वाला था. So that is telepathy.
So how does that happen?
That is matching of vibrations. So the whole world, that is what I always keep on saying. The physical world that you see is not even 0.00001% of the entire universe. We are so used to the physical world that we forget that there's so much beyond the physical world, the metaphysical world. So these things happen. Only when they happen, we question, "Arey, ye kaise ho gaya? How did this happen?" So that is matching of your thought process. Your thought creates vibrations. And those vibrations reach the other person and the person reciprocates. The moment the person reciprocates, it happens.
How do I contact my spirit guide?
That is the whole session. That was the whole purpose
I
of the whole
missed it.
session.
I'm so sorry, Debasis. I joined late.
Yeah, so that was the maybe you can go through the maybe you can go through the recording on YouTube. And there are two ways. One is guided meditation. Somebody guides you to the meditation, and the other is self meditation. So I discussed mostly today on how you can do it yourself. That was the whole purpose of the session today.
Debasis ji, next session maybe on the group meditation that you said.
Shabana,
Yeah, we
please
can
share.
do it. We can do it, but the point is that if it is a meditation session, that then you can't multitask. You have to be totally focused on this and nothing else.
Yeah,
And
sure.
we can do it. Yeah, sure, we can do it. Okay, thank you very
And
much. Yes.
Debasis, I was looking for your recording on dowsing, but I didn't find it. Are you going to
Thank
have
you.
another
I will
session?
share, Umaji.
Okay, thank you. And today's recording also, Shabana. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yes. Sure. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best. Have a nice
Thank
Sunday.
you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
for your